Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, the name of my YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this on BitChute, the name of my BitChute channel is Comic Freak. If you're watching this on Library, when I finally have it up and running, thank you for subscribing. We're going to be talking about Warcraft 3 Reforged again. And guess what? It has even more problems with it than people first thought. So I thought I'd do this update on this story so we'd all be on the same page and why, well, Blizzard has once again screwed up and angered their fans. Warcraft 3 Reforged is shaping up to be a beautiful disaster for a studio that was once a titan in RTS games. Warcraft 3 Reforged was released months late and filled with a whole host of bugs. To make matters worse, the game was missing quite a few features that made the original game so fun and long-lasting. They mentioned this in the article, but yeah, they're missing clans, they're missing cross-region play, and no more custom campaigns, to just name a few. But the article itself will go more into it later on. I'm going to refresh your memories on some of the Warcraft problems that we covered in the last video, like connectivity problems and the fact that some characters were just basically not up to Blizzard's usual standards, like Death Knight basically just being the Lich King Arthas put on a horse. They named just a few of these. Missing assets that were in the original Warcraft 3 game, but not in this new version of it, that Blizzard conveniently left out for some odd reason. Okay, yeah, it was just because they screwed up. Here are a few missing features and new unwanted additions as detailed by Warcraft 3 player Baker on the official Blizzard forums. Now we're going into the new stuff that they're missing on the game that people have just noticed. And because of these problems, the basic cry for this game is basically not Warcraft 3 Reforged, but Warcraft 3 Refunded, that people are now demanding Blizzard give them their money back. To start off, it's missing, as I've said, cross-region play, no more clans, anti-spam protections, custom campaigns are gone, which is another big drawback. Ladder with ranked matchmaking stats and automated tournaments are gone. Players have no creative freedom if they use the world editor. New limitations to what can be done. New report button to help Blizzard take down wrong-think maps. Now everything created using their map editor belongs to Blizzard. They reserve the copyright. No more third-party custom maps, ending some of the most popular from old WC3, Battle.net, such as DBZ War. Maps can be censored. Geez, Blizzard, why even make this game if you weren't going to give them Warcraft 3? If you think by simply not buying Reforged that you're safe, you're wrong, and this is where it really gets bad. This isn't limited to Warcraft 3 Reforged. Since the update, even the classic Warcraft 3 game will now have many of these limitations slapped on. The old game client was removed, forcing users to download gigabytes worth of data of suppressed assets for Warcraft 3 and having to use a sign-in to get past the main menu. This is one of the big complaints I have with this game. I never played Warcraft 3, but this sounds like they're forcing people to play their new game, even if it's on the original game itself. They're forcing these limitations on to force people to play the game that they want, so they can't do something like create a Dota 2. And this is why these limitations are now being worked into the original game as well as this new version of it, because Blizzard, being a crybaby, doesn't want to miss out on anything that could make them money, so they're hamstringing their own game. Old Battle.net servers are gone, so even if you do find a way to keep the game from updating with the new Reforged data, you'll be limited to LAN games, unless you're tech-savvy enough to get around Battle.net. This neuters the game. It forces users who want to play the game they paid for over 17 years ago to keep their version of Warcraft away from Battle.net, unless they want to fight off a first download in order to play the game. Once you apply the new patch, you are now required to continue to allow future patches of Warcraft 3. As you can imagine, Blizzard ruining not only Reforged but classic Warcraft 3 left a nasty taste in many players' mouths. They made their frustration and anger clear, giving the game a 0.8 score on Metacritic. Once again, this just proves that Blizzard is a bunch of crybabies. All because back when Dota was created, and then Valve came out with Dota 2, they had no ownership of the game, as I've mentioned in previous videos. Blizzard is now taking this out on their fans by making this new version of Warcraft 3 of not only preventing anyone from creating another Dota game or anything like it, but also basically owning all of the intellectual property just because they don't want to miss out on anything that could be used to make a very, fun and new and interesting game. And as you can see, it's going to bite Blizzard in the behind. People are not going to buy this new Warcraft 3 Reforged because of it. But, as with anything related to corporate America, there are plenty of shills in the excess media. For example, VG247 said in their review, "If you're already a Warcraft 3 fan, this is shaping up to be the absolute best version available. This is astounding to read since the game has no more bugs than an anthill." For many players, they felt that they didn't get what they were promised. Many of the complaints centered around how buggy the game is, and even how the game isn't a remake at all, but instead a low-quality HD remaster. You can see this is how Blizzard promised the world at BlizzCon 2018 and delivered what was basically a 1080p update with worse graphics. Below is the side-by-side comparison from Galea. I'm going to save that for the end of the video so I can talk over it, but you're going to see the comparison like in the last video I made on Warcraft 3 Reforged. Yeah. They're basically giving us a game with low-quality graphics and, they're making it so that you can't get really close to the models. Nothing that looks like anything that they promised from BlizzCon 2018. And you can just see the video and just, oh my god, they really think we'd buy this? Not to mention how buggy this new game is, just because it's now become pretty much the standard for game designers to release an unfinished buggy game on release and then fix it later on with patches does not mean that people aren't going to get fed up with this and go somewhere else, Blizzard. So it looks like Blizzard might have finally beat the golden goose one too many times, and that is quite right. Blizzard is going to pay dearly for this. I'm not sure how a once-beloved company can return from so many bad choices over the last 2 years. It seems that in their quest to satisfy shareholders, they're willing to sacrifice employees, even though profits were enormous and the content they promised to deliver. It leaves fans with a company that keeps misstepping. And as I said, Blizzard is going to eventually lose all credit if they haven't already, and the fans just won't keep coming back. You'll start seeing the fan base leave them, and their games will continue to probably start dwindling in the future. But that is my opinion, because I see this as basically not that different from a company going woke and then going broke. If you're going to treat your fans like this, you're just going to go broke either way. But at least they're not woke. At least no more woke than any other game company. They might be a bit woker than others, but the way they're treating fans, it doesn't really matter because they're just going to start hemorrhaging money soon, and they're going to try and start, barking up to get their fans back. I mean, this game itself, Warcraft 3 Reforged, was supposed to be a boon to the fans to get their goodwill back. But the way they're treating them with this game and the fact that they released a buggy mess again on release just shows them that they have no respect for their fans and buyers. And here's the Galea, comparison. You see the BlizzCon 2018 graphics on the left, and you see the new 2020 release version of it, and you can see that it's not very close. And even though it's not very close, you can still see it's just not graphically good. It's just sort of blurry on the edges. But the other one, the 2018 one, has a nice, look to it. Looks good. But Blizzard couldn't deliver this to us all because they have to be tightwads and greedy bastards, and they're only going to give this to us a few months down the line when they finally patch it through to the game. Isn't that just perfect? I'm sure it will eventually look like that, but you're going to have to wait a while. Maybe over 2 years, possibly. And as you can see on the right, you'll have to be satisfied with this buggy, graphically messed up game. So once again, par for the course for Blizzard. They once again prove that they care more for their money and their maybe interest in China than they do their own American customers. That's why we can't let them forget this. We have to make sure and press it to Blizzard that they can't get away with this, folks. So when you have the chance, scream this online to Blizzard: Warcraft 3 refunded. So that Blizzard remembers they can't get away with this and that they will pay for it. If you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics, They're Bad For You. Then go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And if you could you also please share this video, share it on Twitter, share it on Reddit, and share it on Facebook. Share it anywhere you think it'll do the most good, because YouTube is not going around promoting their own YouTube creators anymore, and it would really help me if you could please share this video. Now listen closely, it's plug-in time again. Keep checking back in all my future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.